following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
The Chargers are the team that I think will make the biggest leap year over year.
I agree with you. Because there's the best case scenario for the LA Chargers, coffee's for closers.
Yep.
They were in damn near every game. You just had a real young team and you had a real bad time manager coach. I love Brandon Staley. I know it is a fool's errand to put a lot of stock into a rookie head coach because they burn you far more often than they cash in for you. However, I think this guy's just a little bit different. I like him so much. I think he's so good for so many of these defensive pieces. And to the Melvin Ingram thing, I don't think he's found the market that he was looking for. And I know there's always been you can always just come back home. 1 year deal, 1 year prove it deal. I mean, he's had injury issues. I still think very highly of Melvin Ingram.
I do too.
That was one of the first hits I ever had as a draft analyst. NFLDraft.net, August 2nd. Teaser trailer out today.
Nice. Brandon Staley comes into I hesitate to call it a perfect situation, but you couldn't ask for much more. You come in with the young, hotshot quarterback. You've got all the weapons that he could want. You've got an offensive line now that I think is just going to dominate opponents. Between Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater and Matt Filer and Brian Bulaga, you know, you do have that one little spot that I'm not real sure about. Ode Obushi is listed as the starter right now at right guard for them.
He played for the Jets.
Any good?
He ain't bad.
Okay.
Nothing to write home about.
But I'm saying that compared to those other four, he appears to be the odd man out in this offensive line. It's a good thing you can hide him in the middle. But the offenses, I expect a lot out of the offense. The defense is good. They're really good. They lost Casey Hayward, who went over to the Raiders, and we'll get to them in just a little bit. But if Derwin James can stay healthy, I think this team has 12 wins written all over it.
I like this team so much, and I'm trying my damnedest. I am trying my damnedest to not jump the shark on this team. Because I know it's a fool's errand to think they're going to. Very rarely do rookie head coaches lead to 4 to 5 game swings. However, I think Anthony Lynn was so freaking bad.
Yep.
He was one of the worst late game coaches I have ever seen, and I'm a fucking Jets fan. I just think the move from Lynn to Brandon Staley is enough for 2 to 3 of those games to go the Chargers' way, and that puts you in that borderline playoff team thing. And how many AFC teams do you actually, honest to God, think we play the season out 100 times? How many teams in the AFC consistently finish ahead of the Chargers? There's one per division. I'll just go ahead and I'll answer the question.
That's it?
Yeah. There's one per division. Consistently. I mean, time after time after time after time. There's one per division. It's Kansas City. It's Baltimore. Tennessee, Indianapolis. That's 5. That's actually 5.
Yeah.
Buffalo. That's it. You're going to say Cleveland, and I know it's coming.
Yeah.
First of all, their schedule is markedly tougher. The talent around Justin Herbert is, I'm not going to say as good, but it's pretty damn close. And I get Herbert, you get Baker. I'm all the way in. I like the Chargers better than Browns. I do. Yeah. And you tell me I'm wrong all you want to. How many teams have we seen loaded up like that?
They're close. They're very, very close.
By the way, if there are 2 rookies on this team that I am fucking Charlie Sheen, Gary Busey in the same car drunk.
Oh, God. That's pretty damn drunk.
I almost threw Caitlyn Jenner in there. So
Slater's
was
one.
in a car.
Yeah. The
joke writes itself.
We got it. Slater's one. And Asante
Actually,
Samuel.
no, Rashawn Slater and Asante Samuel aren't either one of them.
Oh, my God.
It's Josh Palmer, the wide receiver.
Okay.
Who I think will be I think he'll be the 2 by season's end. He will definitively be the 3. And I like him better than Mike Williams.
Wait. He becomes the 3 over Jalen Guyton?
I like Jalen Guyton way more than you do. Your derision on Jalen Guyton is bullshit. Yeah.
I don't agree. I don't agree. He's just a dude. He's nothing special.
He's more than a dude.
Okay.
He's better than your Scotty Miller. So it's not even debatable. Don't argue with me. There's nobody here to here to keep me from hitting you in the head.
It's not that different.
It's pretty different.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Jalen Guyton is a talented kid.
Okay.
And your derision on him pisses me off.
I'm sorry. Y'all just, it's like you and Auden Tate. You love Auden Tate so much.
I do. And he's going to wind up on a team that's not the Bengals, and you'll see how good he is.
He's a dude.
Yeah, he plays for the Bengals. How many people have you ever looked at, they go to Cincinnati and you're like, God, his career outlook just surged through the world because he went to the Bengals?
Nobody. You're not going to have that.
No. And yes, I do like Auden Tate. The other one is Larry Roundtree. If you're drafting in dynasty leagues, Larry Roundtree is a guy you need to have on your roster. I keep hearing Justin Jackson may not make this roster. There's a reason for that. Mm-hmm. Larry Roundtree, he can tell you, we did a lot of pre-draft coverage because this was the trial year for NFLDraft.net, which debuts August 2nd. Just got to keep throwing promos out there. Larry Roundtree was a guy I talked about a lot.
Right.
And apparently he shined in the minicamp. I think he will shine when they get to camp. He's a nice compliment to Austin Eckler, and there's a lot of tread on the tires. I like Larry Roundtree a lot. Mm-hmm. May not be the guy this year. I think you give him a little bit of time, and he's going to be a guy we talk about for a long time.
I think I ended up taking him in the 5th round of our rookie draft last Friday. Wasn't bad.
Value.
It's a nice little stash pick.
Wow, winning.
It's a nice little stash pick. Everybody snatched up all the running backs from me, so I ended up with him and Javian Hawkins.
I like Javian Hawkins too.
Those are my lottery picks for this year. Hopefully they can pop off. The depth doesn't really. I don't have a problem with the depth on this team.
I like this team a lot. I think the offensive line is going to be markedly better. If they hit on Rashawn Slater at left tackle, I will tell you I evaluated him as a guard. I never saw him as a tackle. If they're right and I'm wrong, this is going to be one of the best offensive lines in the league for a long time. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, they're going to be able to run. That protects Herbert. I think the defense is good. You're going to be able to get after the quarterback. I think Kenneth Murray is going to take a step forward this year, mm-hmm. and I like the secondary markedly better now than I did last year. Mm-hmm.
As long as injuries don't play an issue, don't play a role.
Well, you can say that about everybody.
Of course you can, but I think there are certain teams that we can say that about because they've been snake bit so much.
Injuries tend to be very cyclical,
yeah.
And I'm all in on the Chargers. Not gonna lie, I might have a little tiny piece of paper that came from something that ends in and resort that has Chargers plus a whole big number.
Yep.
To win the Super Bowl.
Not being able to shake the injury issue will be a massive problem for them, and for me that plays into the worst case scenario for this team. Worst case scenario, the Chargers could end up being right in mediocresville, somewhere between 7. I can't see this team losing or winning fewer than 7 games.
No, I think the baseline's
scenario.
9-8. I would say the high end's 12-5.
Yeah, I was thinking somewhere between 7 and 9 wins would be the window where there would be, if it was absolute worst case scenario for them, and that is injuries. They cannot figure out how to finish the games. Brandon Staley just doesn't make that big of a difference.
Also, worst case scenario.
Yeah,
no continuity for young men. That's the problem is a mixture of injuries. You do have a lot of moving pieces here where you got new linemen and you got the risk of a sophomore slump for Herbert. I don't look for that. I just don't. He's one of the guys that I think he's so damn talented that I think he's almost slump proof. But if something was going to happen, it would be because of the injuries. It would be because the new coach. It would just be all the moving pieces and something just doesn't line up.
Yeah.
And even then, I think that team's 9-8 battling the Steelers and Dolphins for the last playoff spot.
Mm-hmm. So they'll be in the playoff hunt regardless.
I believe so, yes. I believe so.
Yeah, this is the one team where I keep trying to tell myself I'm too high. I am too high on the Los Angeles Chargers. You don't help me any. Usually you keep me grounded on things like that, but you're not helping me.
Adam Black said in the comments, if they split with the division and lose to Kansas City both times, that's 5 losses right there. First of all, they're not splitting with this division. They will beat the Denver Broncos twice. Mm-hmm. I have them beating the Broncos twice. I have them losing to the Raiders once, and I have them losing to the Kansas City Chiefs once. I think they will beat Kansas City and LA.
Mm-hmm.
That's 4 losses. They have another one. I think my final record on them was 11-6.
Right.
If I remember correctly. I'd have to go back and look.
Well, I mean,
I know I had them in the playoffs. I can tell you that much definitively.
Right. Their first 3 games start out with Washington football team. Very tough defense. We know what they are. They're still going to be figuring things out on the offensive side. So I give the Chargers the advantage in that arena. Although, new offensive line going up against the best pass rush in the league could spell problems. Then you got the Dallas Cowboys next. You're going to have to outscore them. And can you do it? And you've got the weapons to do that.
Your defense is better than their defense, and I think offensively you're pretty damn close.
Right. And then you got the Kansas City Chiefs in week 3. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty stout start to the season. Then they go Cleveland, Baltimore, and then things lighten up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Things lighten
All
up
you
a
have
lot.
to do is keep the boat from sinking through the first 5 weeks, and then it gets markedly nicer.
New England, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Denver, Cincinnati, Giants, Chiefs, Texans, Broncos, at the Raiders.
Jonathan Wells said in the comments, the Raiders are their kryptonite. Yeah, this division's done this forever.
Mm-hmm.
The worst team in the division, who I think is the Broncos, somehow finds a way to beat 2 teams in the division every freaking year.
Right. Additions. What do they need? If you made one move, what would the one move be to make this team better?
I would really like them to have somebody. I'm wanting to say somebody on the interior of the defense. Another 3 technique on the outside. I mean, I like Jerry Tillery and I like Linville Joseph. Mm-hmm. Just a depth piece, if for nothing else. But the move itself is bring back Melvin Ingram.
Yes.
If I had to choose one, that's what it would be.
I agree.
Because I try in that part of it, what move would I like to it not be re-sign a guy you had last year. Mm-hmm. But this is one of the teams that's the move. It's re-sign Melvin Ingram.
I think there was only one other team in the NFL that hit a home run in the draft as well as the Los Angeles Chargers did.
The Minnesota Vikings.
It was the Minnesota Vikings.
Who had the 4th A+ I've ever given. Mm-hmm. The Chargers were a solid A, mm-hmm. and they were almost an A+. It was very, very, very close.
Yeah, but I mean, you couldn't say a damn word about the first 5 picks that they made in the draft.
No, the only one you can say anything about would be the first one.
Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, because I never saw him as a left tackle.
Yeah.
Now, in your scheme, you know your scheme better than I do. That's the thing that makes people like my job difficult. Because there are a lot of teams that I would never see him as a left tackle. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Chargers did. And they were on him from Jump Street. How many times, of all the mock drafts we did, how many times did I have Rashawn Slater going to the damn Chargers?
It was quite a few.
I think it was damn near all of them.
It was quite a few, yeah.
So they saw something from early on that tends to mean, not always, mm-hmm. that they're seeing something that we're not seeing. Mm-hmm. They saw him as a left tackle, we're good. So that would be the only, of their first 5 picks, that's the only thing I can say about any of them.
Right. Asante Samuel being added to this secondary, I think, is going to be phenomenal. I've got really high hopes for Asante Samuel Jr.
I do too. I think he's a starter from week 1.
Very well could be. He's definitely going to be an impact player, and if he's not a starter early in the season, he will be a starter by the end of the season. Again, best case scenario, 12 wins. Worst case scenario for the Los Angeles Chargers.
I'd say 9.
I'm going to say the lowest they could go is 7, but that's horrific injuries have to strike this team.
Yeah, I don't project any of those things.
It's got to be Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, Derwin James, all of those guys.
I don't project any of those things, so I don't say path.
No.